They fed us fables, cloaked in false light, poisoning our minds with manufactured truths. For too long, we swallowed the bitter pill of their narratives, believing the lies they spun about our history, our divinity, our very being. The Pale Messiah, a phantom of their design, shattered our spirit. Their history, a weapon, their God, a gilded cage. This is not just a fight for streets, but for souls. A spiritual war rages, unseen, unheard, until now. The drumbeat of Alkebulan calls us home, to our true selves. Reclaim the crown, the wisdom, the power stolen from our bloodline. The choice is stark, the hour is late. We rise to redeem our stolen legacy, or we are lost forever. This is Redeem or Destroy. Unapologetic. Raw. Unfiltered. Hosted by June, the voice for the voiceless, and remember, only the facts can start the processes for us to gain our freedom.
Yeah. What it do, yeah? It's the Honorable Junns, not a Bantu or a Jew, but an Alkebulan Kidnapped that's ready for the get back. Welcome back to the Redeem or Destroy podcast, where we deal with facts over beliefs and awaken the minds of the kidnaps worldwide. Before I start, I want to give you guys an apology for today was a very long day, came home tired, but yeah, I always got to push through. For those that don't know, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and sometimes Saturdays, I will be doing lives for you guys. Okay? So just get your wine, sit back, rewind, and let me speak my mind. Okay? So we're gonna go. Let's get straight into it because today we're talking about a curse our community brought on itself. And what is that? Laying hands on the elders. Now, I'm going to play some videos for you guys. I want you guys to, you know, understand that it can be very touchy. Some of you guys may be upset for what is played, but understand that the goal is to raise the awareness to give you guys a explanation into why the black and brown people are suffering worldwide. So without a further ado, let's play the video. Yeah. What you see is a granddaughter fighting her grandmother. Yes. This is not AI generated. This is as real as it comes, people. Okay? I repeat, this is a grandmother fighting her granddaughter. This is not AI generated. This is as real as it comes. Let me play one more time for you guys. One more time. Yes. Yes, I know. And for the sister that said that the grandmother started it first, did you not see the granddaughter putting her fingers in the face of an elder? You know that is the most upright disrespect in the black and brown community. You know you couldn't even do that in my time growing up. Can you imagine? you doing something like that, everything that this girl received from the grandmother was warranted. And yes, there are times where you want to be the gangster and show your mother, your grandmother, your grandfather, or your father that you're not some punk. But this right here is your elder. And you know what comes when you do stuff like that? You know? It's called your life on this earth will be shortened tremendously. Let us continue. I don't want to put the horse, I don't want to put the horse before the cart, right? The death of respect, people. We're living in an era where kids think being tough means putting hands on the same people who once wiped their tears. Not just their tears, but their derrieres. You understand? You don't get stripes for that. You know what you get? You lose years. Yes. That's what happens when you put your hands on your elder, you put your hands on your mother, you put your hands on your father. Your lifespan on this earth is broken in half. So meaning you when the ancestors put you on this earth, your lifespan was supposed to be 80, 90, but because you did that, you'll be lucky to see 30 or even 40. Yes, you understand? Because respect used to be sacred. Now it's just a meme. We post RIP grandma 1 week and fight a old man, your own grandmother next week. That's spiritual confusion. And it's not just spiritual confusion, it's also mental, psychological, spiritual trauma, imprisonment. All of this stems back to us not having our core values and principles anymore. These people has taken away morality, has taken away dignity, has taken away principle, class. All of that has been removed from the black and brown community. This is behaviors you will never find in a house of an Arab or a Jew. And if it is going on, one thing for certain, two things for sure, it would never be recorded. Okay? And because of this confusion, it's leading to self-destruction every time, people. Laying hands on wisdom sees the elders carry history in their bones. When you harm them, you harm your roots. And when your roots die, the tree follows. Let me say that again. And when the root dies, the tree follows. You wonder why so many young souls are leaving earth so early. Because spiritual law does not miss. And it's not just putting your hands on your grandma. It's the disrespect to your mother. It's the disrespect to your father. It's the blatant I don't care what you say attitude. It's the reason why a lot of these young bucks today in 2025 are being taken out. It's a reason why our children are not seeing 30 years old. And a lot of it is coming from the disrespect. Now, I'm not going to be the one to only put the fingers out on the brothers and sisters. Because, like I say all the time, everything that you see around us, especially in the black and brown community, it is taught behavior. You was being taught this behavior. You're being told that this behavior is the way to go when you are black. You understand? And I can prove to you and just give you a little glimpse or a little example, should I say, that you know this is taught behavior. You want to know how it's taught behavior? Because with all that might, with all that testosterone and estrogen, with all of that, you ever notice that these people never take it out on law enforcement, never take it out on the government? Some of you guys don't even take it out on the Europeans. You can't disrespect where you come from and expect to live long enough to see where you're going. Let me say that again for you guys. You can't disrespect where you come from and expect to live long enough to see where you're going. That's why I say you put your hands on an elder, you just signed your own death certificate. Oh, yeah. You just signed your name in blood because you did the number one thing that was forbidden in a black and brown household. I want to play for you another video, okay? Let me play another video for you guys to see exactly what's going on. You're wondering why. This is another one.
Alea! Alea!
The New York source.
Yeah. This is another one. Let me play it again. Just look how everybody is on this bus watching a girl put her hands on an elderly woman. If that's not the indication that this generation is doomed, I don't know what to tell you. You think what's going on in Chicago is by coincidence? You think what's going on in California, you think what's going on in New York, you think what's going on in Atlanta, you think it's by coincidence? You think all this stuff that you see going on with the big beautiful bill and the cutting of fundings for the poor, you think all of this is by coincidence? This is the universe responding to the lack of mothering, the lack of fathering, the lack of educating, the lack of building, the lack of unity, the lack of love, the lack of trust, the lack of everything that made us great at one point of time in life, because it's a high level of lackness going on. Yes, I said it, lackness. This is the reason why you're seeing society, the universe turn on you. This is the reason why these people are taking away your snap. Because you guys need to get snapped back into reality. Because you guys have lost your way. You guys have forgotten who you are, why you are here, how did you get here. You guys have forgotten. So the ancestors, ordained by the creators and the fallen deities, these entities all came together to give every single one of us a reality check. And this reality check is not just going to affect us short term. This will be a long-term damage. This will be a long-term damage for the Black and brown community. And listen, people. Energy reversal. Every punch you throw at the wise bounce back at your destiny. That energy reversal, the law, the European ideology never taught you. You see, since these Euro-Christian ideologies is telling Black people that you can do anything, wrong, good, or endeavor. All you got to do is believe, pray to Jesus, ask for forgiveness, and everything will be all right. I don't know who told you this lie, but obviously this lie is not it, because we see what's going on in the Black and brown community. We see that we lead the category when it comes to sicknesses, diseases. We're not even a percentage when it comes to education. Our children are not being raised accordingly. And you see stuff like this, people. You see stuff like this, people. When you see things like that, this is a clear indication on where we at as a collective group of people. Okay? This Euro ideology never taught you anything. And because they want you to forget that energy is currency. And what you spend, you owe. So when you spend violence, you play in blood. Okay? When you spend violence, you pay in blood. You ever heard the saying, you live by the gun, you die by the bullet? Yeah. There's no running from this universal law, people. I repeat, there's no running from this universal law. There's a lot of things that we are doing that was not meant for us to be doing. One of the things that we was never supposed to do was bring bodily harm to our fellow comrades, was to put our hands on our mothers, our elders. You listen, I did a service at a lady who's old enough to be my mom's, if not my grandmother. Old enough. I walk in there as sterile as I grew up, as in the hood, been around all the things you can imagine. I walk in there in complete obedience. How you doing, Mama Love? Is there anything you want me to do? Even if she don't understand, even if she says things it just doesn't resonate, your job is to be quiet, mind your business, listen, obey. You know why? Because this is your elder. This is somebody that has wisdom. She asked me, she was like, oh yeah, I used to work at this hospital. What year you was born? I told her I was born. She was like, wow, I probably could have been, I probably was the one that pushed you out. I was like, word? She was like, yeah. I'm like, look how small this world is. You think I got you think me have the audacity to be disrespectful? It doesn't, let me tell you something about us. It doesn't even matter the race. It doesn't even matter the race. You are not in no position to ever disrespect your elders. Doesn't matter if they're white, Chinese, Mexican, Arab. I see an old Jewish guy, and he says, "Hey man, yeah, how you doing? Yes, sure. What's up? What would you like me to help you with?" And it's not even and it's not even if you don't want to do it. You got no choice but to do it, because the universe watches, the ancestors watching. The creators is watching. You guys got to break out of this Euro-Christian philosophy, man. It has failed you. Every single colored person on the face of this earth, let's just call it what it is, it has failed you. You're trying to do things on your own. It is not working. You try to uphold this gangster persona. It is not working. Maybe it's time for us to try something else, don't you think? Maybe it's time for us to stop wanting to be a gangster and be an engineer. Stop trying to be a hustler and be an entrepreneur. And sell things that's going to be beneficial, not just for your people, but just for all of humanity. Because when you spend violence, you pay in blood. And every ancestor that stood before you watches in silence, waiting to see if you learn yet. And when you don't, this is when you get removed. But the one rule, it doesn't matter how much you think you're going to repent. It doesn't matter how much you think that you're going to go to church on Sunday and beg for forgiveness. There's no coming back for putting your hands on your elders, especially your grandmother, your grandfather, your great grandmother. There is no remorse. When the ancestors see that, it is fire and brimstones. And we're not even talking biblical talk. We just talking, that's how your life is going to end. It's going to end dramatically. You guys are finding out there's a lot of young girls now, which I found crazy, but it is what it is. You finding out that there's a lot of young girls that are being unalive. And we talking about being unalive in the heinous ways through gun violence. Females are being unalive through gun violence. That's not a coincidence. We never allow our women to be caught up in any street protocol activity, you name it. We was never. But we're living in a world now where women are not even respected. Children are not even respected. You know why? Because we are raising children not to have respect for anything. We are raising these children not to have respect for anything. Our children are walking and talking like you owe them the world. No, we don't. We don't owe you guys absolutely nothing. But we got to talk about one of the major causes of this issue, and that is music and religion's role. Yes. Religion and music turn us cold. They replace respect with rebellion. The Euro doctrine said, honor your father and your mother, but their system dishonor every black parent, father, or mother on earth. Now the kids, yes, the kids don't know who to respect. And the music teaches destruction. Smoke your ops, spin the block, but the real block that needs spinning is the one in your mind. The one in your mind. Because you have forgotten who you are, where you are, why you here, and what you're supposed to do to get up out of here. You have forgotten that. You have taken on the ideologies of Alexander the Greek, Adolf Hitler. Who's the other? Who's the other guys? What was the Stalin from Russia? What's the other one? There's so much other. There's so much other barbaric genocide murderers. Moses. Oh, did he just say that? Yes. Because you've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten that once upon a time we was rulers, kings, and queens living in complete harmony. You can't find no history until the interaction between blacks and Europeans is when you started seeing war here, war there. And I'm talking about universal war. I'm not talking about them beefing with each other. That's just what they do. That's always been in their DNA. We're not gonna argue what's in their DNA. That's just in their DNA, bro. The only reason why you're not seeing an abundance of it is for two reasons. For one, they're well taken care of. The system makes sure that their paycheck look good, make sure that their houses look good. You know, that's what the system is doing. And for two, they do have a level of concern now because they know that the system that protects them also turned us into savage animals. So while they're weak physically, temporarily, right? They portray like they're weak, but I promise you, let something pop off. They the ones with the shotguns. They the ones with the snipers. They the ones with the vests, the grenades, the silencers. They got all that in the palm of their hands. Meanwhile, we don't have nothing. We don't have unity. We don't have a community. We don't listen. Our community is being overtaken. It's being overtaken by the same people that you guys are failing to realize that taught you this behavior. So when I say that music teaches destruction, smoke your ops, spin the block, but when I tell you that the real enemy are the ones that's putting this ideology in your mind, you don't hear me though. I had a brother tell me that here comes another victim's complaint. I'm like, being a victim? This is not being a victim. This is everyday life. Every day there's a funeral going on. Every day somebody is posting something on their Facebook saying RIP, I lost my mans, I lost this, I lost that every single day. And mass majority of it, yes, is us unaliving us. This is facts. This is facts, people. Let's talk about the ancestral karma. This is why you see life right now being cut short. Our children is living to see 18, 21, and 25. You should see how many of these children is dying at these ages. That is not a coincidence, people. That's karma. The ancestors are saying, we tried to guide you. You chose chaos. You disrespect your roots. You inherited decay. Respect your roots. You inherit longevity. That is universal law. You want to live long? You must you must respect your roots, respect your elders, respect anybody that's in a position to be a father or your mother, or better yet, your biological grandparents. You have to respect them because the minute you don't, your life will not see 40 years old. Okay? What does real honor look like, people? Honor ain't words, it's action. Just like love is not a word, it's actions. You can tell somebody you love them every day, but your actions will let me know if that love that you tell me every day is true. Okay? So it's checking on the elders. It's learning from the gray silence, their wisdom. It's protecting them like they protected us. Yes, you must remember our ancestors, our grandmothers, great grandmothers literally was born into slavery, was born into, racism, Jim Crow, what else? Willie Lynch. They got people alive till this day that survive the bombing of the Black Wall Street. One mama love is 111 years old. It is not that far removed. But you have allowed these niggas to remove you from the facts and got you believing in some spiritual truth from a book that we all know has nothing but lies. A barbaric book, by the way. A barbaric book, by the way. Prove me wrong. I just posted and I don't want to get off topic. We'll be right back to it. I just want to just throw this disclaimer. So I posted up a shorts. And shout out to the sister, man. The sister be bringing up some phenomenal points. She's an atheist, though. I could never be an atheist. I know that there's a higher power. I know that I know that my ancestors dwell in me. They talk to me. I see my father. I see my father have a conversation with me directly. I'm talking about my biological. I ain't talking about this fake father that came with the Abrahamic religion. No, you leave that nonsense over there. But she made a valid point, and even for me, for somebody that's been invested into the scriptures for over 10 plus years, when she said what she said, and what she said was, did God really give Adam free will? And if he received free will, right? If he received free will, then why was he kicked out of the garden? And she said something, the reason why Adam and Eve was kicked out of the garden is because God never wanted them to have knowledge and wisdom. God only wanted them to solely praise them. And even when you read the scriptures in the book of Revelations, after everybody dies and we make it into this thing called heaven, we will be worshiping God all day, all night for eternity. So it's like, is that what dying, going through all this chaos to die, to go to heaven, and the only thing we get as a reward is to continue praying and giving praise and glory? I mean, if that is what we supposed to be looking forward to, I understand why the devil said, "Nah, I'm out of here." I get it. Listen, I understand it. But when she brought that up to me, you can't dispute that. You can't dispute that. And a lot of us need to start questioning the ideologies that's being placed before us. We got to question these things. We can't just sit around and just say yes, because that's exactly what God wanted for Adam. If you think about it, that's exactly what he wanted. Which proves that the book of the which proved my point. And I'm saying all of this to land the plane and say the point of the Biblos has nothing to do with the connection of God. The point of the Biblos is to control the slaves. Rome was an enslaved community, meaning they had servants. Greek had servants. The Jews had servants. Here in America, you are a servant. And what keeps you an obedient servant is the book that justifies your enslavement, and it justifies why you are a servant. And for those that agree, shout out to you. But those that disagree, you're just lost in the source. And I can't force you to come out of that source. You got to go through your trials and tribulations and let the ancestors work with you. I'm no longer here trying to convince brothers and sisters what is right, what is wrong. You got to make your own decision. But I'm going to stand on what I stand on, because what I stand on is the facts. I'm not moving off beliefs. Beliefs are something that you guys do, but not me. Okay? So let's go back. Let's get back to it. Okay? So honoring, it's ain't a word, it's action. It's to check on the elders. It's learning from them before the grave silence their wisdom. It's protecting them like they protect us. Because when you lose the elders, you lose the light that keeps your soul alive. Another reason why we're being unalive is because we're not doing or following the ways of old. We are letting society give us this new narrative. Oh yeah, we ain't doing that. I ain't doing what my grandmother did or my grandfather did. I'm on this type of time. And that type of time leads you to putting hands and feet on people twice your age. And because of that, you won't even live to see twice your age. Okay? This is facts, people. Now, breaking the curse. I'm here to tell you, break that curse right now. Put down your pride, pick up your discipline, apologize to the elder, help the neighbor, because when you start protecting our elders again, we start rebuilding a nation. And you know what I said earlier, that even if you apologize, you will have a fatal, if not a fatal, something horrific will happen to you where you will not be the same again. And that's just the ancestors and the creators being generous. Okay? And again, we need to start rebuilding our nation. It's that simple. Respect or be destroyed. That's it. Okay? So, in closing, people, you already know the motto. Respect your DNA. You should never in your life, as long as you're walking and talking, you're supposed to never disrespect your elders. This is facts. Okay? So again, people, it's the Honorable Junns, Redeem or Destroy podcast. We don't talk feelings, we talk facts. Until next time, stay aware, stay awake, and protect that legacy that raised you. Okay? And again, respect your DNA. All right?